Go ahead and call this meeting of the Ames Parks and Recreation Commission, whatever that is, to order for January 18th, 2024. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the November 16th and December 7th meetings. Anyone care to make motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
All right, motion is on the table for approval of the minutes. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor of approval of the minutes from November 16th and December 7th, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, seeing none, the motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a public forum. This is an opportunity for members of the public to speak on any items not on the agenda. If you would wish to speak on an issue, please come to the podium and state your name and address, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. All right. Seeing none for the public forum, I'll go ahead and close public forum. Next item on the agenda is to review the capital improvement plan comments from City Council.
Yeah, so on Tuesday night, all the departments that have capital projects have a capital improvement plan, did present to City Council, did present our plan. I'm not going to go through this in detail because you guys have seen it multiple times, so I'm not going to do that. There were just some questions that came up, in regards to the some of the items. We did talk about Miracle Park surfacing, that we're starting to put that into the CIP, lifespan around the playgrounds, maybe 8 to 10 years. The Miracle League field, maybe more 10 to 12, might get some more life out of them. So there was just some questions in regards to the surfacing. Is there a difference between under the playground equipment versus on the field? Which I did share that, with the impact attenuation for the playground equipment. It's about 3 inches thicker, kind of a really rubbery, cushiony thing. And then there's about a 1/4 inch hard layer up on top. And on the field itself is just that hard layer. So that was one of the questions. They did talk or ask about the lifespan, and then also just the cost associated with it. Obviously, Miracle League Field will be a higher expense when we have to do that. But did mention also that we'll try to, there is a possibility that we can just cut out bad spots. It's like with the swing alley, if it just underneath the swings is worn, maybe we can just cut that out and replace that portion of it. And if the rest of it is all still good, but we need to start thinking about putting, money in. So that's what we had talked about there. With the path through Moore Memorial Park and with the bridge, there were some questions just in regards to signage, letting people know, what's going on. That said we would do signage at the appropriate time until we get, the actual trail all the way through and connects Ontario to Moore Memorial. It'll be done in phases. Once that happens, we'll have signage out there. And then there's a question regarding the bridge. Will it be rated for vehicles? And said yes. That was part of the agreement that we're doing with Iowa State University, is that the bridge would be rated so they'd be able to put their or take their mowers and other equipment over it, as well as we'll be plowing it. So we'll need to take a pickup truck and a plow, over that. And then, just mention that we'll be taking that agreement with ISU probably. We're hoping maybe in January, but we're still waiting for comments back from the city attorney. So it'll be more likely in February that we'll take that agreement to council, and then ISU will take it to the Board of Regents, and then hopefully we'll have the easements in place. And then when time comes, that's one less thing we have to worry about, and we can just go ahead and get that done. With the bridge at Homewood, there was question. City Council did have their retreat at Homewood the first weekend in January, and there was just question about are there erosion issues? and just mentioned to them that we did have a consultant. We met a consultant out there. They didn't seem too concerned about erosion around, the clubhouse or near the clubhouse, but something that we'll have them look at again. And then the only other questions that they had was agility course timeline. And then there was some questions about the mini pitch up at Lloyd Kurtz Park. Gave an update that what we're working on, and we're working with a group called Kick It Forward to actually do some fundraising. The city is going to put $150,000 into this. Kick It Forward will go out and fundraise the remaining amount. We're looking at putting two fields or mini pitches up there. They would be lit. Courtney's been working with Stonebrook Church in regards to just making some changes to an existing agreement that we had to make it a little bit more permanent in regards to being able to use their parking lot, and then some sharing, giving them some opportunity to use the mini pitches and so on. But then there were questions about, well, what if we only did one? Could we do it ourselves? Expedite the process? Should we do one at Lloyd Kurtz Park and do one in another park? So we'll be taking information. Our goal is to actually bring this to commission in February, and then at the end of February, we would take that to city council. So with the feedback that we got the other night, we'll be incorporating all that, and we'll bring it to commission. You guys can give us some feedback, maybe make a recommendation to council, and then we'll take it to them for a final approval. So those were really the kind of the comments that they had, from the projects that we had in the CIP. So,
did they have any concerns just about sort of, we had talked about like next year's kind of a regrouping year and making sure that we're adequately funding a lot of stuff that has been kicked down the road, or, were there any concerns about delays or anything?
No, they made a couple of comments that, we want to get things done, and that's what our goal as staff is to get really by June 30th of 25. We really want to try to be caught up with all of our projects, and that will be a good thing. So that's what our goal is. It's a lofty goal, but that's what we're shooting for.
Awesome. Any other questions for Keith? All right. Is next item on the agenda then?
Joshua.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the fiscal year 23-24 operational budget.
And it's actually should be 24-25.
You had the file name is also December. So anyway, that's all right. Okay. 24-25 operational budget. I was confused.
All right. So we'll just go through a few things, with this. So with our department, again, a lot of our department is in the general fund. We do have the two enterprise funds, the Ames ISU Ice Arena and Homewood Golf Course. In those two facilities, revenues need to exceed expenses. When revenues do exceed expenses, then we add the excess to an operational fund balance. If expenses are greater than revenues, then we pull from that fund balance. But most of our department is under the general fund, which is fees and charges, donations, property taxes is a good portion of how we get our funding. Just a few slides, just so you have an understanding of the magnitude of what we do. You can see the recreation. We do have expenses. We do bring in a lot of revenue, and you can see what our subsidy is. And for the recreation side of the house, our subsidy is only 34%. Pretty low. And when you look at the parks, you can see what those expenses are. Little revenue, the dog park revenue, dog park passes, shelter rentals, those kinds of things. But but that's really one of the functions of city government, is providing parks and places for people to go, and there's not a lot of revenue opportunity there. So you can see, the parks are subsidized through property taxes by about 95%. When you put it into as a whole, just under 5 million. Again, this is just our general fund, so this does not include the ice arena or Homewood. But we're right at 60% subsidy when you put the two of them together. As far as the Ames ISU Ice Arena, just about 600,000 in expenses, a little over 6,000 in revenue for 24-25. So again, revenue over expenses. So instead of pulling from the fund, we'll actually be putting about $10,000 to the fund. What we want to do, a minimum fund balance on this is about 15% of operating expenses, which is about 90,000. And then we have in excess of that minimum fund balance about 215,000. So looking pretty good until you look at the Homewood fund balance, and you'll see. But it is a good thing that looking at that, and we'll give a little bit more detail on some of the things in each of these areas. So with Homewood, you can see just under 400,000, 500,000 in revenue. So we'll be growing the fund by 119,000. But here, because it's a little smaller expense to operate Homewood than it is the ice arena, we have 25% of the operational expenses, about 95,000. And you can see our unreserved fund balance at the end of fiscal year 24-25, $550,000. So we are already looking at, the whole goal. Just as a reminder, at one point we did not have a very good fund balance, and if the cell tower would have gone away, the revenue from the cell tower, which is anywhere $30,000 to $40,000, depending on what year and so on, we would have been in the red. And our goal, and we have made some changes over the years, fee schedule and pass schedule, and get rid of some passes, and obviously the clubhouse helps as well. But we always want to do, if the cell tower went away, that we could operate the golf course in the black, and that's where we are right now. So we're doing really well. Again, kudos to Nate and Pat and Courtney and Joshua and everybody else that's involved with that facility. So fees and charges, which we'll go through those in a little bit also, but just an overview. 65% of our activities or programs are experiencing an increase, and we try to go percentage wise. Some of them might be 50 cents, some of them might be a couple dollars. Wellness is those experience a little bit greater increases, this year. But you can see generally with our passes and rental rates about 3.5%, and with some of the passes it does vary a little bit. From a Parks and Recreation Administration, standpoint, and these are different programs. We have a program budget with the City of Ames. So just some things. So 60 Forward Center with Heartland of Story County. About a year ago, Nancy Carroll, Executive Director from Heartland of Story County, came and talked about this whole idea. The building is being built. They were hoping maybe spring. It looks like it may not open now until the summer, but we have really been working on, and Courtney's been involved now, and some of our other staff have been involved, our recreation managers, really with the 60 Forward programmatic model. And we will be hosting wellness classes. We'll be doing maybe some duck pin bowling leagues. We'll be doing a lot of different things. So that's something that we'll continue to work on. We have representatives. It's me, Nancy Carroll, Deb Schildroth from Heartland, Ron Smith from Mary Greeley, the three partners. We meet twice a month. But now we're starting to wrap in. Some other people had a meeting on Monday with people that are going to be doing different programs and activities there. It was a really good meeting. So we're really excited about that. that whole concept. The Ontario Park Master Plan, we're looking at putting $100,000 in to do a master plan in 2024, which will result in a lot of public input sessions. What we'll be doing is, Grant, who's in the audience, already has given us some thoughts about connectivity and bike trails and so on, and that will be a big component of this master plan, and it will really be able to get a cost estimate, and then council will need to make some decisions on how do we fund this. Is it through donors? Are there naming opportunities? And then maybe even we may have to do a bond referendum, for the development. Scholarship endowment, we've talked about scholarship before and so on. One of the things that we have been tossing out to the city manager, and we'll be talking to city council about it, is actually doing an endowment. And right now what we have been doing is, we get the $1,500 here, $1,000 there, and so on, and trying to build up a scholarship fund. But what we have in the fund right now is about $30,000, and that'd be about 2 years, and all that money would be gone. So what we've been doing is we've been really absorbing those scholarships into our operational budget. And so what we're asking council for is to kind of start this endowment with $250,000. $250,000. I did go and meet with the Ames Foundation yesterday and made a pitch to them to see if they would take on as one of their projects, going out and raising funds with a goal being of $1 million endowment, and just trying to keep things simple. If we get 5% off $1 million, that's $50,000. Right now we're probably in the neighborhood of about $13,000 to $15,000 a year that we give out in scholarships. But we really want to change all the things that we do with scholarships. We want to broaden. We want to make it available for all ages. Right now, we give a 50% discount. We'd like to give maybe 75 or 100% discounts depending on the need. So there's a lot of things that we'll be bringing to the commission, hopefully in the next year as all this works through. But our vision right now, get that endowment going and really make it a more sustainable program and broaden it. We know that there's people out there. Courtney shared some information with me that 27% of the Ames Community School District qualify for free and reduced lunch. That's about 1,200 kids. We aren't servicing nearly that many people. So it's also promotion, awareness. There's a lot of other things that we'll need to do.
Courtney had because the duck thing was a fundraiser, right, at the end of the season.
Yep.
For the scholarship fund.
Yep.
And then the ice bowling, is that going to be a scholarship fundraising event, or are there other?
We'll golf tournament. We tried that last year. We're going to try it again this year. The ice bowling may or may not be a fundraiser for the scholarship, but there'll be those types of activities. So what we want to do is over the years, initially let's get $1 million in there. We can always continue to grow that principal, and it's one of those things that right now, let's say we're giving 15,000 in scholarships, and we're absorbing that all into our budget. Let's just say we give 50,000 in scholarships. Well, maybe the first year interest, we get 10,000. All right. Well, that will lower this, and it'll bring $10,000 into our operating budget. And then maybe the next year we get 20,000. So over time, what we'll do is all the scholarships that we give out, we won't any longer have to absorb them into our budget. We'll have funds coming in to pay for those scholarships, which will then in turn allow us to use that money instead of eating it in the budget. We can use that money for other things, maybe things in the parks, maybe equipment, materials, and so on. So that's what we're trying to do. Obviously, Fitch Family Indoor Aquatic Center. I'll give you some details a little bit later about the bids that we opened last week. And then again, the future indoor recreation facility, city manager, again, brought that up. There's 5 projects. He talked to commission about that in December. The animal control, fire station number 2 relocation, a new fire station number 4, the Ontario Park, and then a recreation facility. So kind of 5 priorities, and council will need to prioritize which one is first and which one's second, and so on. So as far as our instructional program and program fees, those increases vary. And again, our instructional program is we're teaching something. Could be basketball, could be dance, it could be fill in the blank, gymnastics. So there's a lot of different ways. Most of these programs are youth programs, but there are some adult programs in here as well. This instructional program, the general fund support did decrease, or the ask for it in 24-25. We are going to be looking at different program locations because we are going to be losing some space. Multi-purpose space here. I think we've shared that with you before. And then this year with the school district facility use, last year we were down to 1 gym. This year, again, we're back up to being able to use multiple gyms using the middle school. And when we talk about aquatics, we're actually looking to be able to use the high school pool for some certification trainings and so on. So that is a good thing for us. From athletic, again, the program fee increases, school district facility use. Again, the middle school is a big one for adult programs as well as youth, but the adult programs really benefit when we can have adult basketball and some other programs there. And then our league participation is holding steady for most of our programs. We do see increases here and there. That's a picture, if you haven't seen duck pin bowling. That's what it is. It's small pins. From the throw line to the number 1 pin is only 19 feet. The ball itself, you hold it in your hand. It's about 3.5 pounds. So there's going to be 2 lanes of those at the 60 Forward Center. So we're looking to do some lane or some leagues there as well. From aquatic standpoint, this winter goal is to demolish the Brookside wading pool because we will have the plaza spray pad will be operational. We do have an increase in WSIs. Leanne, who is our aquatics manager, has really been trying to stress the need for WSIs. It's water safety instructor. So we have a number of our swim staff instructors that don't have WSI and do a very good job, with it. But they get their WSI. We pay for the certification. They do get a bump up in pay, and it improves the quality of our lessons. So that's something that's been going on. And then with the 24-25 program locations, so right now we're doing our school year swim lessons at Forker Pool at Iowa State. That is going to be closed at the end of this semester. So for next year, we'll need to be looking at some other locations. We'll be able to do some programs at the high school pool, but not all of them. And, that's just not going to be conducive to do preschool swim classes and so on. So we'll be looking for other locations for things. Wellness, here's a fee increase. And maybe Courtney, can you just explain, this is larger than what generally we're seeing across the board. So can you just explain that real quick?
Yeah, so in prior years, we've had different fees for what we've considered fitness classes and then small group fitness classes. So there's been some difference there where as the years have gone on, we don't see as much difference in participation that used to be. Some of the differences, obviously, a fitness class versus small group, where small group may be for have more minimal participation or require more equipment and therefore and so forth. But we're not really seeing that big of a difference as far as, participants or anything like that. And as far as different equipment use and so forth. So that gap has closing. So we've brought those fitness classes up to what those group fitness classes rates were. It was about 21% increase. Sounds like a big number, but a couple dollars. But then that also provides some consistency across our programs of what all classes cost per class. So that's the biggest increase there.
So we did replace the aerobics room flooring, which you can see in the picture there. That has been received very well. We did have carpeting in there in the past, so it was a good change. And then again with the 60 forward programming, our wellness program will be moving some of the classes that we have here, especially ones that are for the 60 plus age group. It'll be on the first floor. It's not up on the second floor like our aerobics room is right here. So wellness will probably be the biggest benefactor of all of our programs once the 60 Forward Center opens up.
Are those courses like you will still register for that through the City of Ames page,
Yes.
and those will still have a fee associated with them at
Right.
the
Yeah, there's
Center.
still City
Okay.
of Ames programs,
I
just
see.
like some of
Okay.
our other programs.
Okay.
We just offer them at a different location.
Cool.
Yep.
So Homewood Golf Course, you asked earlier, we did try the scholarship tournament last year. We had 2 teams register. So we're going to try that again. Obviously there was, you heard Pat and Nate talk about it in November, increase in rounds played, and then, increase the size of the number 9 tee box. And this is, hole number 8, looking back towards the tee, and you can see course is looking awesome. They do a wonderful job. The Ames ISU Ice Arena, we do have, a 3/4 time ice arena coordinator in, and one of the things that we are looking at is maybe doing it as a full-time position. We didn't have a lot of people apply for it when we put it out the first time for 3/4 time. And we see the need to maybe have a full time. So we're looking through that and seeing how we can make that work. We do have Taylor started a partnership with the library where we have, I think on some Friday mornings where they do story time, and then the kids and parents can stick around and get on the ice and so on. So that's been doing well. And then obviously the big thing that affects the budget is ISU men's and women's hockey, back into the building. From park maintenance standpoint, we do have 2 weekend maintenance workers that have been hired, and their work schedule is Wednesday through Sunday. So they're able to do things on the weekends. It increases our service level. They're able to get to things that that we'd have to bring somebody in and pay overtime or call them in. Now they're actually working. So there's a lot of benefits to it, and we don't even know all the benefits yet. Joshua, Courtney, and I were talking earlier with the cold weather. We had Nate got into Homewood on Monday, and the temperature was 44 degrees, something like that. So it's something where our maintenance workers, they can just make a sweep of all of our buildings on the weekends. They're here anyways, and if something's not working, they can get it taken care of and so on. We did touch base on the forestry grant. We still do not have the agreement yet, so we want to wait until we have the agreement before we bring Gabby in and have more conversation about that. Gabby is our forester. And then, partnerships, we work with the Ames Foundation on tree planting. There's, Joshua worked with some groups from Ames, Leadership Ames, and they did some work down at Tom Evans Plaza. And then just some other things here is Gabby worked with the fire department, and each one of the three shifts actually went out and they all planted some trees with it, and that's the picture there. So with that, just a quick overview of the budget. Any questions? No. We'll be presenting this to City Council on February 7th. So if you got nothing else to do at 5:15, you could come down and join us here in the council chambers or watch us from home.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys just continue to work so hard on so many projects. So
Yeah. So what we do need, and we kind of briefly went through the fees and charges. In your packet of materials that were sent out, has all the fees and charges on there. I'm not going to go through all of those. We kind of touched on them, but what we would, two things, our budget and the fees and charges go together, because if we're raising fees, the staff incorporates those into the budget. And so on. So they do go hand in hand. So I guess if we could get, staff, just from the budget that we presented, if somebody would want to make a motion to recommend council approve the budget as, presented, would be good. And then with the fees and charges, there are several alternatives. Staff does recommend alternative number 1, which is adopt the revised fee schedule as listed for 24-25. So two actions for commission to do.
All right. Let's see if I can remember all this. I'd like to recommend that City Council adopt the budget as presented for 24-25.
okay. Would anyone care to second?
Move that.
Oh, you moved it. Okay.
Yes.
Second.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion on the table is to recommend to council to approve. Oh,
But you can. Yeah. So I just
Do you
want
want-
to make sure that.
okay. Grant, would you like to speak on the Ontario Park bike ideas? I don't know.
I just want to make sure that
You wanna be
if
on the
wanted
record.
if you wanted to speak about one of these topics, or if you're just here to listen.
Yeah, I mean, you
Okay.
emailed community member feedback too, so that's still probably
Right.
is that in the
Yeah, we have that.
notes,
that information.
so
Yep.
you're on the record. All right. Okay. Motion on the table is to recommend City Council to approve the budget as presented for 24-25 fiscal year. Is there any additional discussion or questions? All right. All in favor of recommending the budget as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Seeing none, the motion carries. And then if anyone would care to make a motion recommending approval of the fees.
I'll motion to approve the fees
Recommending. council.
recommended council.
Alternative one.
Alternative one. Yes.
I'll second that.
All right. Motion on the table is to recommend City Council to approve alternative 1, which is to adopt the proposed fees and charges for the season. Although, like, some of those go into effect like before, they'll go in.
So,
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, motion on the table is to recommend City Council alternative 1 to approve the fees and charges for Parks and Recreation programs. Is there any discussion?
And just a
Question?
note of clarification, it's not recommending to City Council.
Oh, we get to approve
Because,
that.
yeah,
Okay. never mind.
commission has
Okay.
the authority to adopt fees and charges.
Okay.
Jeremy withdraw and redo.
Oh man.
Just say-
I don't need,
Draw.
Just say we move it.
we'll move to
Alternative-
approve alternative one.
Yeah.
And Dwayne is seconding it. Or no, Nathan.
Nathan.
You okay.
Sure. Second.
Okay. All right. It's fine. We've all forgotten how to make motions over break. All right. All in favor of approving alternative one, which is to adopt the revised fee schedule as presented for 24-25, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right. Seeing none, the motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a motion approving an agreement with the Mid-Iowa Lacrosse Association.
This is the second year of the agreement with the Mid-Iowa Lacrosse Organization. We started working with them in 2022 to offer a Flex 6 lacrosse clinic. And this is the Flex 6 is a condensed version of how to learn lacrosse. So it's a great opportunity for youth to get familiarized with the fundamentals, but then it's also on a smaller field, mixed genders. So it's a great introductory level into lacrosse to help grow that sport. We have offered 2 clinics the past 2 years. We offered one in the summer and the fall last year. The fall clinic didn't go. So we do look this year just to offer one in the summer. And with their interest to keep that program moving forward. Outside the changes to the schedule, we don't have any changes to the agreement itself. The Mid-Iowa Lacrosse Association will still provide all the equipment and instruction for the program. The city will conduct all the registration and collect all the fees. The city will retain 40% of the registration fees, with the other 60% going to the Mid-Iowa Lacrosse Organization, and we'll host these programs at a city park. So with all those and everything listed in the council or in the commission action form, staff recommends alternative one to approve the agreement with Mid-Iowa Lacrosse Organization to offer 2024 sessions of Flex 6 lacrosse.
Anyone care to make a motion?
All right, here we go again. I'd like to make a motion to approve alternative one.
I'll second it.
All right. Motion on the table is to approve alternative one, which is the agreement with the Mid-Iowa Lacrosse Organization to offer 2024 sessions of Flex 6 lacrosse. Is there any discussion or questions? All right. All in favor of approving alternative one, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Seeing none, the motion carries.
I did have a quick question. How many students or how many youth participated last year?
So last year in the one session, we had a total of 8 participants. So we're looking at hopefully condensing it into the summer where we just offer one. So there's less maybe thinking of, oh, we'll do it later, and maybe avoiding any conflicts with any other sports programs that are going on in the fall time.
Cool. Hopefully they gather some steam
Mm-hmm.
after a trial year. So great. I was gonna be done. I was gonna make Jeremy or be chair, but no one else wants to talk ever. So
I had to talk at the last one.
oh, and that's true. All right. Next item on the agenda is project updates.
Yeah, so with the Fitch Family Indoor Aquatic Center, we had mentioned last time we're going to be taking these out for bid. And one of the things with the construction manager, which was Story Construction, we really wanted them to really drum up business, for bids and really get a lot of people interested, along with RDG, our architect, which they did that. So we had 14 different bid packages. Because generally what happens is if you have a general contractor, they just give you one lump sum and then they have all the contracts with all their subs. But with the construction manager, they manage the construction, but the city actually enters into a contract with these, what we call prime contractors. So we have 14 different bid packages out there. For those 14 bid packages, we got a total of 79 bids. Which was awesome. We were really surprised that I think last week, Monday, a story said, yeah, we're probably looking at maybe like what, 35 to 40, something like that, 40, maybe 45 bids coming in. And then like on Wednesday, they said, this might be closer to 70, and it wound up being 79, which there's a lot of interest in the project. People are really looking for work and so on. So if you kind of remember, we're going to be giving a full description, detail of all of this to City Council next week, Tuesday. So I won't go into a lot of detail, but if you remember, we had the base bid and we had our budget of 20.5 million, right? And then we had the alternates, and we really didn't have a budget, but we had some funding, and we wanted to, if we could keep everything low, we'd be looking really good. So the cost estimate when we put these out to bid was 20.3 million. And again, I'm rounding things. So 20.3 million for the base bid, and then to say about 1.6 million, a little over that, for the ad alternates. So you put them all together, just under $22 million. All right, for it. When we put all the bids together and some of the expenses that we'll have just for the site with fencing and dumpsters and all that kind of stuff, put it together, the total is less than the 20.5.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, you can say that a little louder if you want, Jeremy.
This might be the best day of my life.
That's because we didn't have to put a restroom out there in the parking lot.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
So we'll once we have this, putting the council action form together, when it goes out, I'll get that to you so you can see all the detail. But right now, there's a couple of items that we need to work through. But right now we're ecstatic with it. We couldn't believe it with it. So it wasn't one of those things where we had to say. So staff's recommendation is award all 4 alternates along with the base bid and stuff. So that's what we're going to be taking to City Council next Tuesday. So yeah, it's a good thing.
It's a win.
Yeah. So what we're hoping is we can award contracts. It does look like we'll have to probably rebid, one of those packages, but it still, would still be under that 20.5, and then with it, we would probably do demo about mid-March, and then start construction and everything as soon as we get the utilities and all the site work and everything done. So that's a good one. I don't have to
Yeah.
sit here and
Congrats. Feels good. It's been a slog for you guys. So
yeah. We're excited. We're excited. So with the Stephen L. Schenker Plaza, do you want to give any update there, Joshua?
Yes. So the concrete contractor for the ice rink portion of the plaza was completed sometime in mid-December, early December. There was a extended drying, curing period that took place. That's all squared away. The water contractor or the water feature contractor has basically been able to do as much as they could until it started snowing. They ut all the underground piping in. So it's basically at a good point, so they can come in the spring or when it warms up to start putting the other fixtures up top and then pouring the concrete, pouring the surface. Another concrete contractor is getting prepared to kind of do a temporary heating solution inside the building so they can pour the floor in there, and then they can start putting everything together in regards to the mechanical equipment in there, including the aquatics equipment and also the chiller for the ice rink, which should be here mid to late February. So with planned of opening, the water feature, hopefully obviously this summer. So.
And then, the big thing with the Sands McDormand property is, the request to city council for the 100,000 to do the master plan. And then we'll be doing some other things out there as time allows and so on. So those are a few of the project updates that we have. Any questions about any of those?
When does the brewery start out there?
Yeah.
I will never forget that.
As a resident, you can always come and make that pitch.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Any other questions on the project updates? Next item on the agenda is monthly report.
Well, talking about breweries, I guess I'll jump to the Ames City Auditorium first. We brought forward to commission and a while ago last summer about starting alcohol service at the Ames City Auditorium. We did take that to council. They did approve and direct staff to continue with that process. In the meantime, staff developed policies. So when that service was implemented, we would know how operations and just city responsibilities, vendor responsibilities, and so forth. So we did take those to council on January 9th. They did approve those policies. So staff will begin to put a scope of service together to start the competitive bidding process to find a vendor for those. So that's exciting. It's been very busy at really all of our facilities. We have our summer concert series starting back up tomorrow at the auditorium at 7:00. So if you're looking for something to do in the snow, you can go there. Again, we don't have alcohol service yet, but hopefully in the spring, summertime, and then all the other facilities with all of our holiday and winter activities. It was a very, very busy December.
Go for it.
For those individuals are holding out to put away their Christmas tree, we're still receiving Christmas trees that need to be disposed of. East 700, East 13th, our main parks maintenance shop area. Second thing is we started filling the ice rinks today out at South River Valley. Unfortunately, the snow and the cold weather all hit at the same time, which really hindered our timeline to be able to set those up. But yeah, we will have at least one rink, hopefully it may be available this weekend. And then hopefully we get some more cold weather later on that we can get the other one going, but didn't have enough time to get the second one going today. And then also you're going to see some individuals out in the park system here in the future pruning trees as part of a 5-year rotation. We have every tree within the park system is planned to be pruned every 5 years. So this year we're going to have Country Gables Park, Memorial Park, Daly Park, and Parkview Park as part of that plan. So.
All right. Any other questions or feedback? Oh, cool. Next item on the agenda is a commission member comments. If you have any other stuff that you've been doing out there, have the cross country ski clinics happened, or was it too nasty?
So cross country ski clinic was scheduled last weekend. We were able to do the part 1 indoor portion, but with the temperatures and wind chill, we did not conduct the outdoor portion. We have a tentative date to reschedule for this Saturday, but we might run into those same situations that we ran into last week. So ironically, yes, where we typically wish for cold weather, we've gotten too cold of weather for that class. So we're trying to put something together and
then it's gonna be 40 degrees again.
Yeah, so we'll try our best. Great thing is that if people are still interested, they can register, and then we're having direct email communication with those individuals. So if we can get something rescheduled, we can let them know.
Awesome.
But they have been groomed twice. They'll be groomed either tomorrow night or Saturday morning, but
awesome.
For the weekend. So
fabulous. Yes, for anyone watching at home, we do have groomed cross-country ski trails out at Carr Park on the east side of town. So any other comments? Keith asked me to remind anyone who's watching at home, if you would like to have the fabulous job of sitting here on the dais and offering your hot takes on city projects. The deadline for applying for boards and commissions is February 2nd. It's a great way to get involved with local government if you're interested in that. And you don't have to run for a campaign. You just have to write a little essay about why you're interested in serving. It's a super rewarding and not super time intensive position to hold. And yeah, I found it really great. So
I would just add for Parks and Recreation Commission. So Jeremy is going to be going off. March will be his last meeting.
I was going to make you chair. Dang it.
But Jeff, his term is up, but he's interested in reappointment for another 3 years. Thera was doing a 1-year term, and she will not be able to be reappointed, or is her work schedule is not going to allow that. So for the Parks and Recreation Commission, if you're interested, there will be a 1-year term and a 3-year term available for appointment. And once you apply, then those applications go to the mayor, and the mayor does make the appointments to the commission and the other boards and commissions as well. So we really appreciate all the work that everybody does here for the Parks and Recreation, Commission, and also for all the other boards and commissions that are out there. So
I haven't served on any other boards and commissions, but I've been to their meetings, and we're definitely the fun board. But it has been a great experience, and yeah. So yeah. Any other comments, thoughts? Get out of here before 5. All right. Our next meeting is February 15th at 4 p.m. here in the chambers. So with that, I would take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, meeting is adjourned.
Nice job, everybody.